Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and staying safe and healthy. This is Radhika here again, and this video is going to be about what relationship do narcissists share with God. So I'm going to go um, in some details explaining about covert narcissistic behavior and overt narcissistic behavior and how they individually relate to God because it's a bit different. And of course, it doesn't apply in all the scenarios, every scenario is different, but this is just like a general observation that I have, and I thought it'll be a good topic to discuss. So first of all, let's try to define God for the purposes of this video. Although as we know, especially people who have faith, that it's a very difficult thing to do to describe um, what God is, how it feels like when you have faith, when you believe in something higher than yourself, etc. But let's just for practical purposes for this video define what we mean when we say God in this video. Um, so so God means for this video and a major controlling factor for everything that is going on around us in our lives. So it's like someone with supreme power who can make everything happen, who changes the days. From days it becomes night, from night it becomes day again, the seasons change. So all of this algorithm, who controls it, so let's call that entity as God. And all the events that are happening in your life, like your work, your office life, your personal life, your kids life, if you have a kid, if you don't have a kid, if you have a relationship, you don't have a relationship, the whole flow of your life is being controlled by that supreme entity. So that is what I mean by God. Now, let's discuss what relationship do overt narcissists have with God. So, in my observation, I have observed a lot of overt narcissistic people do not believe in God. They are either atheist, and I'm not saying all atheists are narcissists. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But what I'm saying is I have observed a lot of overt narcissistic people not believing in God, um, and they like to believe that they are in complete control of their life. So that is one of the beliefs that they like to have, and probably it has something to do with their own safety issues that they have felt as children. But yeah, they do like to believe that they are in the driver's seat of their life. And yeah, that they can make anything happen, they can make anyone go away, they can make anyone behave the way they want them to behave, they can make anyone feel the way they want them to feel, etc. So these are some of the behaviors that the I have seen overt narcissists have. And the internal belief in all of this kind of is that I am God. So they have this belief that they are in complete and supreme control of everything that happens in their life. Um so yeah, so that is the relationship I think overt narcissistic people have with God. And some of them might also, I mean, this is again on a variant, right? So some of them might outright hate God. Some overt narcissistic people are who are more on the malignant spectrum, who are more sadistic, who are more um who kind of want to like really destroy someone out in public even, or ruin their lives in a very public manner, or not in a covert way, in a very overt way. Those might be more on the nihilistic side, so they feel like all of this life is meaningless, and if it's meaningless, then why shouldn't I just do what I want to do? There's no repercussions to my actions. I have power, so I can do anything I want. So again, in all of these behaviors there is a lack um, of feeling that there is someone above them to control them. So the nihilism also completely comes from that feeling that um, there's no one that can do anything bad to me. Or like if there could be some who know that they might have some repercussions, and these might be the narcissists who are kind of in the middle of the spectrum, who still do bad things, and then they kind of, when they get the bad effects, they kind of might have a little bit of a tendency of self reflection. Because as we know, narcissism is on a spectrum. It's not like every narcissistic person is not at all self realizing their own behaviors. There are people who are on the narcissistic spectrum who do see something wrong with themselves. So these are not the malignant ones, these are the non malignant narcissistic people. um, so this is the overt side. Now on the covert side, it goes a little bit different for the coverts, because the coverts also have a belief that they are god, but they have a veil in front of them, which kind of puts out this image of being extremely humble. So they do a lot of good in the name of God, but at the end of the day, they are doing it for their own ego. And when things don't go their way, they still try to manipulate it behind the scenes in a little bit of covert ways, and they do cause harm to people who are not listening to them, but they still keep this guise on of being like extremely humble, extremely giving, so they kind of play act like they are god, so the coverts don't really, internally they do hate god, but it's very internalized, this belief that either they don't hate god, but they deny the existence of god by believing that they themselves are god. um, or they very well know they are not god, but they try to show this really nice image, god-like image of themselves to the public or to whoever they are interacting with. And they get like a high out of tricking people into thinking that they are god, and then switching on them, and then uh, the shock on the face of the person of, the disbelief that how much of a trickster can someone be, and that's the breaking of trust that happens in the other person. So this person feels good in that, and that is in a way taking the other person away from their god, because as your trust gets smaller and smaller, you start getting away from this, having trust in the supreme power who is, always working in your favor if you are aligned with it. um, so that is the relationship that coverts have with god. They don't really hate god or they don't deny god. In fact, they use god as a disguise, so they use, even if not god, like I'm not saying all coverts are religious people or spiritual people, but like they are con men also, right? So a lot of coverts who, what they do is they kind of use the qualities of the good qualities of being godlike, being kind, being generous, being helpful. All of these qualities, they will use them to show themselves like god to someone, and then they see the person they want to victimize, that is this person needy, are they in need of something, do they want something, my money, my attention, my love, my care, and then they will give it to them just to take it away and kind of shock that person. And the shock that puts the person in kind of moves that person a little bit away from god. So again, both covert narcissists and overt narcissists, they act as agents to move you away from God, away from trusting in this supreme consciousness or supreme being that is running the show actually for all of us. by their own different devices. If it's a, so it can act both ways sometimes. So their intention is actually to push you away from God, but if you understand that is their intention, you will reverse it and you will use it as a way to get closer to God. So that's your whole healing process, actually. That first you lost trust in this supreme entity of God, mostly, and for most people, it's their parents who are the first narcissistic people they encounter in life. Um, and then slowly, when you heal, you gain all the trust back in this supreme consciousness, and you realize that, oh, the people who hurt me were just trying, pretending to be like God. They were not really God, or I was mistakenly assuming them as a godlike figure and they weren't really God. So yeah, that was this video. I hope this helps you in some way, and as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.